Hello and welcome once again to our financial modeling and data analytics class. Okay, so today's class is majorly focused on our mid assessment, which we use to see those of our participants who are actually following and taking this training program seriously. Of course, it will excite you to know that at the end of our programs, certificate is always issued to participants, but not all participants. It's only to participants who fulfill our requirements. Okay, so in today's very class we are going to learn how we can be able to work with assumptions, because assumptions is part of a business. An organization should be able to forecast and should be able to perform some analysis, and it's part of your duty as a financial modeler or as a business analyst or as a data analyst. So I'm going to show you in today's class how you can work with assumptions using an important advanced Excel technique, okay, known as the goal seek, which is very important. Of course, it's something that you would love to learn in today's class. And the truth is that many a times when we have a data model as we have here on my screen, okay, we might be trying to figure out, okay, right here we have our sale price, we have our units sold, and we have also our production cost and other expenses being captured. But there are situations where you might be looking forward to you being able to come up with some forecast to check or to solve some certain problems, which could lead up to you being able to achieve some kind of an outcome, and all that has to do with efficiency, because efficiency here looks into the relationship between your output and your outcome. So whenever you have situations where you want to analyze, whereby it has to do with you coming up to do some little suggestion that, no, if we want to make a profit of 3 million, we should ensure that we're able to sell so quantity to our customers or to our clients. Whenever you have such a scenario, you're to use what we call the goal seek. So I'm going to show you how you'll be able to do that in today's class. So just flow with me. Okay, so first of all, as a financial modeler, you should not be expecting questions that have already been provided or prepared. So especially for those in the accounting and finance line, we have important information here. So all you have to do is to come over to this new section, okay, and first thing you need to calculate is our revenue. So you come and say, let's calculate our revenue, and we can come over here. Our revenue is going to be what? Is going to be our cost times that of our sales price. That's our selling price. So I can change this to our selling price. Okay, so what I'm going to do over here, so this is our revenue, and I come over here and I say, what? We want to calculate our revenue. And normally, like I told you, you always start with your equal to sign, and there are different ways to do that. It's either you use the cell reference. This is a cell reference, okay, which you can see over here. Okay, so first of all, for other purposes, I normally advise you highlight the entire box this way and give it a name. So I can come over here and say, let me give this a name, provided I've highlighted this whole box. I can come here and call this my I can call it my assumption table, okay, my analysis table, okay, or data analysis data. Okay, so when I do that, if I click under here, you always be able to get to see that, provided I've entered that. So let's do that again. This is our analysis data, and say enter. Okay, it says reference you want to go. Okay, we did not copy this. All right, so that's just majorly for VLOOKUP purpose, which we'll look into in our next meeting. So for revenue, I'm going to say it's either I use C, okay, it's either I use here where we have that of our C, okay, our C5, okay, which we are going to multiply with that of our C6, okay. But if I don't want to waste much time, I can just come here, I say equal to this 700 multiplied by the total units sold. So that gives us our revenue, because if we are saying that this is what we sold, then you need to multiply it with the selling price. So for the our cost of goods sold is also another important one. We also need to bring up here cost of goods sold, and as always, it's not containing. I'm just going to double click here above so that I can be able to get that. So for the cost of goods sold, is our units sold here. Okay, can just say equal to, either use the cell reference number C 6, which I can say C6, okay, multiplied by and the production cost, which I can say C7, so I can say C7. So this is the second way to multiply. If you don't want to just call in the number immediately, so you can just do it that. And this way is perfect. This way is perfect. The reason why this way is perfect is because if, for example, we say, oh, there was an error, production cost was actually 600. So if I change that, you notice that the cost of goods sold have also done what? Have also changed. So you can see what we have here. And same way, if I say the selling price is actually 1,000, it's actually 1,000. You can see what is showing here. So I have to increase this, and you can see that we actually made a total sales amount of how much? Of 5 million naira. So I believe you can see all this. You can see all this here. So this for our cost of goods sold, and this also for our revenue, which is very important for you to put into consideration whenever you're working with assumptions, which are very important. So the next thing we have to get here now is our gross profit, or we can just call it our profit. So say our gross profit is going to be what? Our gross profit is going to be the difference, okay, the difference. So I'm just going to say equal to, it's either I drag this or whatever I want to do. I can just say F5. If I say F5, it's going to highlight that minus our F6, which is still same column. So I can just put my enter key, and you can see our gross profits here. Okay, so the next, I'm now going to bring down all our expenses. Our expenses, you can see everything here. So what I'm just going to do, I can just decide to copy this, and just copy this and come here and paste it here. Okay, so we're going to less our expenses. We're going to less it. So let me just bring it under here. Okay, let me bring it here, and let me say less expenses. Less expenses. Okay, so if we less these expenses, we should be deriving our profit. Okay, our net profit, whatever I want to call it. Okay, so we can come over here and also say equal to alt. You remember how I normally say, but at this point we are going to less this. We are going to less this. So what are we going to do? Since we want to less this, we say equal to, okay, we are going to less it from our gross profit, which we have here. So what are we going to do at this point? What are we going to do at this point? This is what I'm going to do right here. This is what I'm going to do right here. Just put N. Okay, this is what I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to come over here and just say equal to, and I just use this and say minus the whole of this we have here, and I say enter. But when I do that, you can see what is showing me. Okay, it's showing me value this, value this an error code, meaning that the command we entered is not appropriately what? Captured. So what am I going to do at this point? What am I going to do at this point? Okay, so when you do it that way, you actually did it wrong. So the best way you can calculate that, actually, since you see that following the range where they're in different cells, you did not basically calculate your expenses to be certain number before doing your deduction. So what I'm going to do, which I use normally, I say my equal to, then I select the reference for that of the gross profit, which is F7. So I can just say F7. Okay, and you're seeing it has selected it, minus, now I want to deduct the total expenses from the gross profit. So I'm going to use my minus sum. Okay, summation of all expenses. I can drag and then I close. So once I do that, I click on my enter. So you can see right here that it has captured, this is the profit. So as always, you can format your numbers by coming over here to where we have numbers, and you can decide to use either the number formatting based on decimal places, or you use your custom to do basically what you want to do. But I can decide to come over here to put a comma between them, and then I say okay, and you can see right here that they all have commas separator. So this is just how you can be able to achieve that immediately. So once you have achieved this, we now move to the question which links us with our assumption. Okay, we have some questions here that how can we get a 50 million naira as our gross profit? Okay, and how many units do we need to realize? Do we need to be able to realize 50 million naira gross profit, and which price should we also fix to realize the sum of 50 million? So this is an assumption, and you are going to use the goal seek to do this. So in 2 minutes, just flow. Okay, so looking at our questions, we are asked, okay, question 1 has sub questions, which could be, this is question A and this is question B under our question 1. Okay, question 1A and also our question 1B. Now in question 1 says, how can we get 50 million as our gross profit for this business during this period of sales, or during this period as a manufacturing company or whatever. So for question 1A is what we are going to use to carry out this assumption. Okay, it says for us to do that, okay, how many units do we need to raise, okay, to realize 50 million? How many units of product do we need to sell to realize 50 million gross profit? Okay, and you can see right here, this is the gross profit. So for you to be able to come up with such analysis, to know how many units of this product that you need to sell to your customers to realize the total sum of 50 million, what you're going to do, you're going to use the advanced technique tool that we call the goal seek. So to get the goal seek, you come to your data tab, then you come to what if analysis, you click on this second options that says goal seek. So when you click on it, it's been broken down to 3 different arguments or questions. First is asking you what is the set cell. So for the set cell is the gross profit cell, which is this. Okay, and that's the gross profit cell. That's the cell you want to carry out your analysis to know how many units of the product need to be sold for us to realize 50 million. So I'm going to select this cell. Okay, then it's also, or I can just decide to click it this way and also select that cell. Okay, so for the to value how much are we targeting, how much is our target? We say 50 million, so I can come here and put 50 million. Okay, that's 50 million. Then by changing cell, we said that we are looking for the total number of in terms of the units of product that we are going to sell for us to realize a gross profit amount of how much? Of 50 million. So by changing cell is going to be our unit cell. So this is it. So I'm going to put that and also click this down. Then I say okay. So once I do that, automatically you'll notice that there are some changes. Okay, you can see our gross profit is now 50 million, and if you look at our units, which is very important, what did you notice? It was actually 5,000 units sold before to customers, but now we have 5319.15. What this means is that for us to be able to make or realize a gross profit of 50 million naira, we need to make a total unit sold amount of how many? 5319.15 units must be sold of our products. So the goal seek helps you to be able to carry out such analysis based on your assumptions. Okay, so let's move to the next question. With this, we say okay, we have gotten what we want to get. So with this, we can also proceed immediately to the next one B, which says which price should we fix to realize the sum of 50 million? Which price should we fix to realize the sum of 50 million? Okay, so same way, I'm going to come from my home tab, I come to my data tab, I come to my what if analysis, my goal seek. Then for the set cell, at this point, we are still looking for towards that of our gross profit, but this is what I'm going to do at this point. Okay, I'm going to take this back to where it was. So I'm going to go back to my what if analysis, my goal seek, because at this point we are not carrying out an analysis based on the unit sold, but rather the selling price. So I'm going to come back and say the set cell is still that of our gross profit cell, okay, which I'm going to bring down. Then to value, we are still looking at 50 million. Okay, then by changing cell, which cell are we using for the analysis to find out? We also want to know, okay, which selling price can we fix for us to be able to make a gross profit of 50 million. So I'm going to select that very cell, and I go back and I say okay. So once I do that, you can see that if we must realize a gross profit of 50 million, definitely our selling price must be 10,600 per product or per units of the item. So ladies and gentlemen, with this you have just performed a simple assumption, which is very important. And I'm going to send you the exercise problem so you can practice with this, and I will be expecting your feedback on how this aids you in ensuring that you're also able to work with this. So let's say, for instance, we have a target of making that of our gross profit of a gross profit of 55 million. 55 million. So same way I can say, okay, if it's 55 million, at that case we also want to know, okay, how much should our selling price be for us to make 55 million. I have to come to my what if analysis, come to my goal seek, the set cell, we say see our gross profit cell, I move, okay, then I also say to value, we say we are looking at 55 million. Okay, we are looking at 55 million. Then which cell are we trying to fix to get that? We say is the selling price. Then I go back and I say, okay, automatically what happens here, this advanced technique have expedited this model for us, showing us that for us to achieve, to hit a target of 55 million for our gross profit without removing our expenses, that definitely our selling price must be what? Must be 11,600. Same way, if our target is based on our net profit, net profit, so same way I can come here and say, okay, we have a target that our net profit at the end of the period or at the end of the month should be 60 million. So I'm also going to come over to our what if analysis, come to goal seek. Now the set cell is not going to be our gross profit cell, it's going to be our net profit cell because that's our target. Then I click enter. Then to value, we say we are looking at 60 million, how we can beat or meet up with a target of 60 million for our net profit. Then for our changing cell, I said maybe we want to know at what selling price can we actually achieve that, so or at what number of units can we sell to make that. So I can select the units sold cell and I go back and I say okay. So you can see that if we must hit 60 million, then we must sell 5456.14 units, okay, of this product. So ladies and gentlemen, this is goal seek, used also in your financial model to work or make assumptions which are very important. So please practice and practice. Thank you once again, and God bless you for staying tuned. Thank you.